What's good? What's good? I am back. Yours truly, the one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett podcast. Yes, I'm rocking. I guess you could call my Russell Brand T-shirt today. It's the only one. Don't worry, I won't be looking like Russell Brand on this podcast. And not that I got a problem with Russell Brand. I watch some of his stuff, and he's a cat that's fairly in the middle and fairly neutral. Doesn't just pick sides just cause. Before we get started, don't forget this podcast. Paul Pickett Podcast, otherwise known as Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and more, is being live streamed on TikTok as well as pre-recorded for YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And I think I'm gonna start live streaming all my recordings on Twitch from now on. Now that StreamYard gives me that feature. Don't forget this podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. If you need online marketing promotions for your music, your product, your brand, or your service, please check out promopalace.biz. Also, if you're a dog lover, cat lover, animal rights activist, and you like dogs and cats on your t-shirts and hoodies, then check out Newlitter Apparel at newlitter.com. It's Newlitter.com. And for Shizzle, I got to shout out Dizzle Brand, dizzlebrand.com. Just add ice, Dizzle on ice. Step into the future. Do your Dizzle, dizzlebrand.com. Check them out. They got dozens of recipes, and you can follow my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and more. Also, before I get started, don't forget my podcast. The audio version goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, and a bunch more. Just Google Paul Pickett Podcast. Um, First things first, let me get to last night's NBA scores. Suns demolished the Lakers. Um, Miami crushes Indiana. And Indiana, of course, is about to be on a rebuild. They got three players in the trade market: Miles Turner, Sabonis, and Karis LeVert. Knicks beat Detroit. The Pelicans beat Portland, which that's not a good look for Portland. Dallas beats Minnesota, and of course, Phoenix crushes the Lakers, and the Washington and Brooklyn game is postponed right now. So that's that. No big news really in the NBA. I mean, you got Anthony Davis out for 4 weeks, so everybody else is going to have to step up. We'll see how that goes. And John Morant just came back, and the Grizzlies been balling out without him. So we'll see how that goes. And of course, my power rankings are pretty much still the same. I got Suns number one, Golden State number two. I got the Nets number three, the Bulls number four, and the Cleveland Cavs number five. And the Miami Heat, man, I mean, they Miami Heat and the Bucks should be a hell of a lot higher in the East, but with these health and safety protocols and injuries, they've got some losses, but they'll be good to go playoff time. They're good. Miami Heat and the Bucks are going to be very dangerous playoff time. Okay, then we had some games last night, which I haven't even checked the scores yet. So I'm checking them just as you. And as I see the Rams, let's see, definitely won. So we had a couple games that were rescheduled. Where were they at? The Tuesday games. I don't even see them. Did they get rescheduled? Let's see. Looks like they got moved. Looks like. Well, my power rankings are still the same in the NFL though. That's another thing. These health and safety protocols, it doesn't bode well. When you're pretty much, have to reschedule games and stuff like that. But I still got Green Bay number one. I got Kansas City number two. We got Dallas number three, Buccaneers number four, and the Cardinals number five. And we can go over the playoff picture right now. We got the playoff pictures, and a lot of them's gonna change. So far, the Chiefs and the AFC got the bye. We got the Patriots, Titans, and Bengals right now as all the division winners. The Chiefs getting the bye, and then the wild card will be Colts, Chargers, and Bills. That's a tough little AFC playoffs right there. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Patriots, and Mac Jones, Titans and Tannehill, Joe Burrow and the Bengals. You got Carson Wentz and the Colts, Josh Allen and the Bills, and Justin Herbert and the Chargers. I mean, that's pretty much all the top quarterbacks in the AFC when you pretty much think about it right there. Mahomes, Mac Jones, Tannehill, Burrow, Wentz, Herbert, and Josh Allen. I mean, this year. And then on the bubble, you got Ravens, Steelers, and Raiders. I don't think none of those teams going to make it. NFC, you got the Packers have already clinched the playoff spot. They're the only team that's clinched the playoff spot in the NFL. And then you got, behind them, it would be Cowboys, Buccaneers, and Cardinals as your division winners. And then Rams, 49ers, and Vikings. And that's the thing, man. Vikings can get in at 500. 49ers they're 8-6 now, but they're not really that good. The Rams are the sleeper team here, and they could end up winning the division. But the NFC doesn't look as tough as the AFC because I think the Packers, things are getting a lot easier for the Packers, especially since Chris Godwin got hurt for the Buccaneers. Cardinals ain't looking so great as everybody thought. Cowboys are up and down. 49ers don't stand a chance. Vikings don't stand a chance. Neither one of those teams stand a chance to win the Super Bowl. It's really Rams, Buccaneers, and Packers when you think about it. But the AFC, man, I mean, it could be. I mean, you could have Chargers come out. You could have the Bills come out. I mean, you could have the Patriots come out. You could have the Chiefs come out. You might could even have the Titans to come out, even though I seriously doubt it. They're still balling without the number one rusher in the NFL. All right, let me get a couple topics. I seen a video where Abba Preach was reacting to Fresh and Fit on the Tim Pool podcast. And Tim Pool's had a nice little week, I guess, because you had the Ryder Ruggedman incident where a lot of people talked about. And I'm pretty sure people will talk about this because Fresh and Fit, they keep shooting themselves in their foot. These guys really need to put their foot in their mouth. Like, you really just went on Tim Pool's podcast and just got more exposed. Just in a nicer way. Tim Pool just did it in a nicer way. Like, this is one thing I learned. Like, podcast, this is how I look at it. Podcasts going at other podcasts. Like, Abba Preach wasn't necessarily going at you. They wasn't trying to just war with you and battle you. They was just exposing you. That's different. Exposing you isn't necessarily going at you. Us honest people of society, we have to expose the frauds and the liars and the fakers. And Fresh and Fit is definitely doing a lot of lying, fraud, and faking. So basically, they go into the Tim Pool podcast. Tim Pool calls them out respectfully. But they're still like, well, if you come at us, we're coming at you. But that's not what Abba Preach did. And as content creators, they should know better than anybody that when a topic is hot, you talk about it. You especially if it fits with your format of what you talk about. If it fits within the subjects you talk about, if it's a hot topic, why not talk about it? But Fresh and Fit just keep shooting themselves in the foot because first of all, they shot themselves in the foot when they went back at Abba Preach in the first place and made it personal. And then they shot themselves in the foot when they filed false copyright claims. Basically, false copyright claims are you filing copyright claims that you claim are people using your content, but they are fair use. Filing copyright claims against content that's under fair use is a false copyright claim. So they basically had to remove all these copyright claims because not only were they going to shoot themselves in their foot, they were about to destroy their whole business. They're about to destroy their own business. It's one thing to let somebody else crush your business, but you crush it, you destroy your own business yourself. That's called shooting yourself in the foot, you know. So they basically keep shooting themselves in the foot. Like the best thing to do is just keep creating content and keep it moving. Even if you faking the funk, just keep faking the funk, keep creating your content, keep it moving. I mean, not every content creator is realistic or honest or truthful anyways. But this is my opinion on podcast, warring with podcast. If you're going to war with a podcast, right, make sure you got just as much followers or more. Don't war with podcasts that got 2 times the amount of followers you got or subscribers you got. Don't do that. And because I look at it like, I always think about cannabis versus LL Cool J. I mean, everybody knows Cannabis's battle track crushed LL. But in the long run, like his battle track was far like iller. It would kill LL's battle tracks. But in the long run, LL won the battle because of one thing that Cannabis said that's always stuck out to me that I think about this battle. And I think about all battles going in hip hop forward. And same thing with a podcast going at a podcast. He said 99% of your fans wear high heels. But LL Cool J had 99% more fans than Cannabis. Same thing with Drake. Meek Mill's trying to battle Drake. Drake has 99% more fans than Meek Mill. You don't go at a cat that has 99% more fans than you. And if they got 2 times the amount of fans you got, then guess what? They got 99% more fans than you. If you got 500,000 subscribers and they got 1 million, they got double what you got. That's 100% increase on top of where you're at. Because they got double. So yeah, 99% of your fans wear high heels. But when somebody's got 99% more fans than you, you don't go at them. You don't go at them. That's why it's hard to go at cats like Joe Rogan and stuff like that. Joe Rogan has a diehard loyal fan base. And Joe Rogan, all due respect, is more credible than any news anchor on any of the news channels, whether it's on the right or the left. Joe Rogan is more credible. You know, he has way more credible opinions on his show about all different types of topics. Joe Rogan doesn't just feed you BS. He's just not going to feed you BS. But your Fresh and Fit, in my opinion, just needs to put their foot in their mouth. Just keep creating content. Stop worrying about what everybody's saying about you. I always, like, this is the thing Fresh and Fit also fails to realize. If you don't have a lot of haters, then you're not doing something right. If you don't have a lot of haters, then you're doing everything wrong. Because everybody who's famous and at the top and that's got celebrity status or the, you know, big trends on YouTube or whatever it may be, like, they all have haters. You think Jake Paul and Logan Paul don't have a ton of haters? And guess what? If they didn't have a ton of haters, then they wouldn't be doing something right. They wouldn't be doing nothing right. But they're obviously doing something right because they have a ton of haters, because they have a ton of. This is what people got to realize. In order for you to have a ton of haters, you got to have a ton of fans. Trust me. Kevin Samuels has a ton of haters, but he has a ton of fans. Ton of fans. You got to have a ton of fans to have a ton of haters. That's what people don't realize. So get over it. Having haters comes with a fan base. And fresh and all due respect, Ab Preach want haters, and not every single channel is a hater, but that's what y'all classifying it as. Y'all classifying it as these channels are hating on you, or they're lying on you, they're defamating, and that's another thing. In order to call it defamation, first of all, you have to prove that what they're saying is lies, that they're telling lies about you. If they're telling truth, and they got facts and evidence to back it up, that's not defamation. That's just criticizing. Defamation, you have to prove that somebody clearly told lies about your character, or lies about you that resulted in a loss of income. And then you got to prove that they are the sole purpose of the loss of income. Now, I'm no attorney, but y'all could go to the lead attorney on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure you can ask him this: is it true that you got to prove that the defamation that caused loss of income specifically came from that entity? And that's a hard thing to prove when hundreds of YouTube channels are criticizing you and exposing you. How do you prove that one individual channel is responsible for defamation? You have to prove that they caused loss of income. I mean, you could prove, I'm pretty sure that Fresh and Fit can prove a loss of income. Because when Ab Preach exposed them, they lost subscribers. They lost views. And that's another thing. Ab Preach also exposed the fact that they try to call themselves like these gurus to help men better their wealth and stuff like that. And nobody watches those videos. The only thing they watch is, the only reason I started watching them, because they had a bunch of fine bimbos on there and they were putting them in their place. But now that somebody like Ab Preach and all these other channels out here, the Black Conservative, whoever it may be, man, Poor Man's Podcast, whatever, I've seen a ton of them, comment on this. Now that they're all putting you in your place, you don't like it. Now you the bimbos at the round table. So just put your foot in your mouth. Stop shooting yourself in the foot. Because that's what y'all just did again when y'all went on to Tim Pool. Because Tim Pool did it in a respectful manner, but he just exposed y'all again. Clown shit, man. Krusty the Clown shit, man. Put on your freaking wigs and your clown noses and paint your face. Throw on your multicolored outfits because you're a bunch of clowns. All right, so I'm going to get into one more topic, and that's it. This thing I noticed, this is the problem with the media. They try to fearmonger you. The media's job, it was one time that the media used to be a credible thing. The media actually went and got information from credible sources and reported the news. And if they actually reported false news, they actually retracted. Okay, well, the media lies every single day. So every other day there should be a retracting. There ain't no retracting. And all they're trying to do is fearmonger you. So, basically they say that Omicron counts for 70% of cases in America. Okay, so let's think about it. So that means if you combine the Delta and the original variant, they're 30% together. So those variants are apparently 30% combined. So we'll say they're 15% each, just to be fair. That the original variant is 15% of the cases, and the Delta is 15% of the cases, since 70% are Omicron. Okay. So what do I get from that? Common sense. Common sense. What I get from that? Well, what I do get from that is the vaccination apparently isn't effective on the Omicron, and vaccinations apparently aren't effective um, to prevent, because 70% of the Omicron cases, 70% of the cases are Omicron, but I could tell you 100% of them are not unvaccinated. I repeat, without me having to Google anything, it's mathematically impossible, first of all, because we do know that the virus still spreads among the vaccinated. So we know 100% of the 70% is not unvaccinated. So and even if it's, we'll say 70% of them, the 70% is unvaccinated, that means 30% of the Omicron cases are still vaccinated. So that clearly tells me that the vaccination doesn't necessarily stop you from getting COVID. It basically might just prevent you from dying. It doesn't necessarily stop you from spreading COVID, but y'all still want to sit there and blame nothing but unvaccinated people for spreading COVID, but vaccinated people spread COVID as well. There is clear, CDC clearly said there is no proof that vaccinations prevent spreading. So, but y'all want to fearmonger people. Y'all want to try to force them to get vaccinated and call them domestic terrorists and say it's your fault that the virus is spreading. No, it's your fault too. It's your fault as well, because the vaccinated are spreading the virus as well. Maybe not as much, but you are. So you're not. This is the thing. If there's even 1% of the vaccinated spreading the virus, then you get 1% of the blame. That's how reality works. That's how the real world works. If it's 10% of the vaccinated that are spreading the virus, then guess what? You get 10% of the blame. This idea is y'all throw all the blame on the unvaccinated people. People like me who are vaccinated, for first of all, I live alone. I work alone. I'm never around a lot of people. I'm not putting nobody at risk. I don't go out and party. I don't go out and hang out with a bunch of people. I don't got time for that. I got time to make money and podcast and advertise and promote and build my brands, promote my apparel, promote Dizzle brand. That's all I got time for. To get up every day and sit there and promote 4 or 5 brands at one time. So then another thing is 70% of the cases are from the Omicron, but it's close to 0% mortality. 0%, close to 0%. So it's probably not even 1%. It's probably like point something percent if it's close to 0%. Which, why are y'all trying to put fearmonger on media when a death mortality rate is not even 1%? If 99% of people are safe, people die every day, man. Every single day. 40, 50,000 people die every single year from flu-like symptoms. Facts. Facts. Check it up. People die every single year from pneumonia. Pneumonia. And yes, you can't spread, pneumonia can't be spread to other people, but people die every single year from pneumonia. People die every single day from heart attacks. People die every single year from just natural curing cancers that are not really caused from smoking tobacco and stuff. You know, there's all types of diseases out there. That people get, that people die every single day. You know, um, and this is another thing. When the Spanish flu came out, we didn't have no vaccines like that. We didn't have this great technological advancements in science. And all they did was wear masks and social distance. And they made through it fine. They didn't sit there and mandate and force people to stay in the house. Because, like I said, if the CDC and if Dr. Fauci is going to take a stance that numbers are going to rise in the winter because everybody's staying in the house because it's cold, then your mandate to keep us in the house for 2 or 3 months did the same thing. When you forced us in the house, you did the same exact thing. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure if Donald Trump didn't have all that pressure coming from him, he wouldn't have, from the far left radicals and the medical field and whoever else, and he wasn't pressured, he probably wouldn't have made us have to stay in the house for any period of time. And yes, there was people going out past the curfews when they had the curfews out. And that's what I'm talking about, curfew time. When everybody was running out of toilet paper, Lysol sold out originally. Like that, if the CDC is taking the stance that wintertime is going to make numbers go up because everybody's staying in the house, then your mandates to try to throw these curfews and keep us in the house did the same damn thing. It's called double standards. It's called hypocrisy. You know, this is the thing, man. There's only one thing that you're promised in life: death. It's the only thing you're promised. You're not promised nothing else. I'm not promised to make $1 million in 1 year. Have I made close to $1 million over these last some odd years? Yeah. My first year in business, self-employed, I made $90,000 gross. That's close. That's 9% of $1 million right there. First year, I'm not promised to make $1 million, but that's why I promote all these brands. That's why I believe in Dizzle. That's why I believe in New Little Apparel. That's why I started Paul Pickett podcast, because I see, the potential of extra income, monetization, help and promote my brands. This podcast I promote Promo Palace LLC. I promote New Little Apparel, promote Dizzle, and if I had a bigger fan base at the moment, I would be charging for advertising, but that I'm not a rip-off artist. I'm not a scam artist. I'm not going to try to feel like my podcast is of a particular value. Then I would never charge for advertising. But I'm not doing it free either. But, the Omicron, it counts for 70% of the cases, but it's close to 0% mortality rate. Y'all got to stop with this fear-mongering media. And another thing is, y'all people that are letting the media pump fear into your hearts, y'all got to stop, man. I've been hit by a car, man. Old white lady hit me by a car, dislocated my shoulder, broke my foot and my leg. I could be dead today. Get over it, man. Stop, Fear is a weakness. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is for weak-minded individuals. I used to fear things like snakes. Not no more. I used to fear things like sharks. Nah. If Shaq could go in a tank with a shark, I could do it, man. I could do it. If Will Smith can do it, I can do it. These guys that you would have never ever thought in a million years they would have went into a anywhere with a shark, swimming with a shark. And Will actually went with the sharks, swimming with the sharks, a hell of a lot more in the ocean than Shaq did. I'm sorry, I can't let nothing put fear in my heart no more. It just makes no sense. Just like it doesn't make no sense for me to allow people to stress me out. You don't get to stress me out. Only I'm allowed to stress. Stress this is the thing. People don't realize stress is a choice. You choose to stress things, choose to get angry on things, you choose to hate things. Some things you hate, I understand, like food you hate because of taste. And that's a different kind of hate. Like I hate broccoli and things like that. You know, and it's not like like hate like people say that comes from your heart. It's just like you. It's really like when you hate food, it's really you just dislike it totally. And some hate is really dislike. It's not really fully blown hate. It's just total dislike. You know, and people are allowed to dislike whatever they want to dislike, and they're allowed to like whatever they want to like. I mean, ain't nobody on this planet gonna tell me what I have to like and not like. I'm gonna tell you to kick rocks and kiss my ass on that one. I choose to like what I like. You know, like it's like somebody trying to tell me to like. I have no choice but to like the View. Man, you trying to get drop kicked, DDT'd, and suplexed all at once. Try to tell me some BS like that. But yeah. Stop! Don't let people fearmonger you in the media. Don't let them fearmonger you over COVID. Back in the days when we had no vaccines, we got through fine. Right now, we are at war with COVID. But guess what, people? Common sense. Let's use common sense. There's always casualties of war. It's always casualties of war. Especially when some of y'all chosen to be always in the front line around a ton of people all the time. I make a living on the internet for the comfort of my own. I got computer here, computer here, computer here, computer here, computer here, computer here, computer here. And in the living room, I got a computer. Desktops everywhere. Everywhere you look in my house, there's desktops, all doing different tasks, doing different things. But yeah, don't let people fearmonger you in the media. Don't fear things. First of all, fears for the weak. Fears for the weak, man. You could choose not to fear things, choose not to stress things, choose not to be angry about things, choose not to hate things. So yeah. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. My name is Paul Pickett, and running out of juice, so I gotta go get me some more juice. Once again, I'm rocking my Russell brand shirt for the podcast today with my Kango, my old newsboy Kango at that. Don't forget, I do this podcast every about 3 to 4 times a week. The audio version goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, and more. Also go live on TikTok and I pre-record for YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram TV, and Rumble, because now I'm actually starting to upload my whole catalog to Rumble, which will take a little bit of time because now we're on episode 91, I think, today. If I'm not mistaken. I think we're on 91. Let's check. Yep, we're on 91. So we got 9 more to go. And I'm going to do the press release for the 100th episode and run the ad campaign as well. Don't forget this podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. If you need online marketing promotions for your product, your brand, and your service, check out promopalace.biz. If you're a dog lover or cat lover, like t-shirts and hoodies, and we also got sneakers as well and apparel for your dogs like dog bandanas. Check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. And for Shizzle, I got to shout out DizzleBrand.com. Dizzle, just add ice, Dizzle on ice. Step in the future, do your Dizzle. Right now, you got about 20 stores in California that are pretty much selling Dizzle, as well as a couple online order links, which I will add to all the descriptions of the YouTube videos as well. And don't forget to follow them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and more. They got a dozen recipes on their website at dizzlebrand.com that you can check out and whatnot. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Paul Pickett Podcast. My name is Paul Pickett, a.k.a. Triple P, a.k.a. the Common Sense Podcast, a.k.a. your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and more. Peace, and I'm out.